All right, welcome back to another edition of Sling Paint Gaming. I am Berto, and Wave 11 previews. Yes, so this is going to be about the Scourge H-6 Bomber expansion pack. We just did the one on the Azatec gunship, which is for the Rebels. The Scourge H-6 Bomber expansion pack is actually mostly for Scum, but also for Rebels. Yes. How awesome is that? Now, what I like to do is I always love to go into the history of the ships because I'm a big Star Wars geek and try to find more. So I actually went onto Wookieepedia, tried to learn more about this whole Scourge H-6 prototype ship, and then the Havoc title that Captain Nim, who actually... Nim, that's interesting. Nims is probably going to be buying a couple of these ships just because of the pilot. He's probably going to add a Z to the end of it. Anyway, but I love going over it, so I'm going to go over that first, and then I'm going to go over to the actual what has been shown here by Fantasy Flight Games here. But so I'm going to pull up Wookieepedia here. It says the Scourge H-6 was created about 5 years before the Battle of Naboo by the Nubian Design Collective, who hoped to sell the design to Naboo. However, the Naboo had no need for such a bomber, and the original prototype was stolen by the Faroan pirate Nim, which is one of the pilots, actually one pilot for Rebel and one pilot for Scum, who later named it Havoc. Love the name. Several other prototypes were produced with only minor improvements, but the price tag on the Starfighter dissuaded a number of potential buyers from investing in it. So, I mean, there's not too much information about it, but again, I'm going to leave the links below so you guys can read up on it and all that stuff. But the Havoc Starfighter itself, it said it possesses exceptional speed, armor, shields, but her weapons were the true identifying mark of her success. And guess what? Fantasy Flights Games nailed it. I really think, I mean, they armored this thing up to the gills with so many different slots for so many different things. Love it. And it says it's got 6 powerful forward-facing laser cannons arranged in 3 on each wing, had enough power to tear open all opposing ships that were unfortunate enough to get in the line of fire. A high-powered automated rotating ball turret mount, which we're going to get into because that's interesting with the whole turret thing that's going to happen here. But it doesn't actually have a fixed turret or a turret on the ship itself. But we're going to, so it looks like it's got a turret slot, but we're going to get into that. But it's basically on the dorsal side of the craft, could shoot at targets by itself when the ship piling with others was occupied. I love Havoc, the whole story with this. Also, you're going to see Captain Nim in here in part of the pirates. He was a Faroan pirate who led the Lock Revenants, or Lock Resistance, depending on how you look at it. It was named either way. But they also have a pilot card, which you can see Lock. I'm not sure if it's Lock Revenants or Resistance. Could be either way. But then there's also just some other information that Fantasy Flight really did their homework, really enjoying it, because they got some features that are actually listed out in Wookieepedia actually as upgrade cards, which we're going to talk about. All right, so let's get right into this. I'm going to stop so you guys can see my pretty mug here. I'm going to go right into the actual awesomeness itself right here. Let's switch. There we go. Check out that bad boy. And this is the FFFG article, and it talks pretty much about Captain Nim himself and the Havoc title. And it basically says the Scourge H-6 Bomber expansion also introduces 3 other ship cards plus a hefty complement of 9 or more upgrades that your bomber can use to litter the battlefield with mines or punish your enemies with the volley after volley of missiles and torpedoes. How awesome is that, right? I love it. Killer. All right, so I'm actually going to switch to my view here. So here's the whole Wave 11, but here is the awesomeness of the Scourge H-6 bomber. Check that out. Right off the bat, you see a Rebel dial and a Scum dial. So immediately you look right to the pilots and you see 5 pilots total, 4 for Scum, 1 is for Rebel, and both Captain Nim looks like what I'm assuming it's Captain Nim. I'm almost positive it is. You have Captain Nim as an 8 in Rebel and also as an 8 in Scum. That's awesome. So mostly, if you want to do generics, you have 2 generics. Looks like you have the Lock Resistance or the Lock Revenants, depending on what version of the verbiage they used for the cards here. And also a Carthac pirate as well. You also see one other pilot. I was trying to find the name for that pirate. If you guys know the name of this pilot based on the letters, it looks like SOV. I have a blown up version, so it's a little bit blurry because it's the blown up version of the file that they originally had on the Fantasy Flight article. But if you guys know what the pilot is, Definitely, let's put it down in the description below because I would love to know who that extra pilot is before they release our stuff out. But look at this ship. This ship is pushing the boundaries almost like a K-wing, right? For the Rebels, as far as the size for a small base ship, this thing looks like a flying pancake. Right, I mean, or half a pancake maybe, because it just looks like it's flat. You can see the dorsal, looks like some kind of dorsal turret on top. You can see the big old cannons. Oh, that thing is sexy. And again, the cool part about it is it got a ton of upgrades here. All right, so let's go right down the stat line right here. So right off, like I said, you see 5 pilots total, 1 for Rebel, 4 for Scum, which is pretty unique, and I like how they include both the dials. All right. You see a pilot skill value 8, which is Captain Nim. You have another unique at 6, and you have 2 generics at 3 and 1. I love that. I love that that mixture there. I mean, that's great. Allows you to do different builds, different things. The Carthag Pirate basically is at 24 points, which I like. It's basically you can outfit the ship as is, and it's got an awesome stat line. It's got just a regular arc. 3 attack dice, 1 agility, 5 hull, 5 shields. Pretty beefy. Love it. The action bar has got focus, target lock, barrel roll. I like that. Barrel roll on this ship, especially from a bomber perspective. That's pretty cool. Don't know how we can make that work. Maybe you can make that work with some kind of experimental interface thing. I'm not sure about push the limit. That's going to be interesting on how you would work that combinations out, because push the limit is actually on your action bar, and experimental face can be an upgrade bar. So if you could put in action bombs on there, so that's going to be interesting. The combinations here. But look what you got in the upgrade bar. You got 1, 2 bomb slots, a cruise slot, what looks like a cannon slot, missile slot, torpedo slot, and what looks like a turret slot. And it looks like that the 3 pilot skill value, the regular generic, has an EPT, and so does the uniques. How awesome is that? That's almost like Jumpmaster ish. Jumpmaster, they didn't do it on the lowest one, but on the 3, which is still a generic, you got an EPT slot, which is pretty cool. So you can do some cool things with that with elite pilot talents. All right. So I love the artwork on these cards, especially the different paint jobs, and I love the Havoc colors that they have for Captain Mim, which is that orange and white combination of this ship. It's just, like I said, it's pretty cool. And the Lock Revenant's painting scheme is what's on the ship that you see when you purchase it. So people are going to be making the Captain Nim version of this ship. I would love to see that. All right, so that's pretty much the stat line. I love that. I love it's got so much wide range of different things here. Now, I always like to look at the tokens first. So I see the focus, I see the distress, the shields, and I see what looks like new bombs, 2 of them, which is interesting. And I see the 2 dials. So right into the dials, I see a 4 forward, which is nice fast ship. And then I see which looks like a 3 Talon roll. I like that. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. All right, now look at this. That you got Bane himself from the Star Wars Rebel series. Yes, you finally got a crew card for Bane. He is on here. Now it's unique. You don't know what he has as far as his ability. It's hidden, but you definitely know it's a crew slot. You have a title card here, the Havoc, which we're going to bring up the card right here. It's Scourge H-6 Bomber only title. It says your upgrade bar gains the system and the astromech upgrade icons, loses the crew slot, and you cannot equip non-unique astromech upgrades. Okay, 0 points. So it gives you some flexibility. I like that because definitely system slot, fire control systems, you name it, accuracy corrector. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can play here. It is only you can have it on 1 ship, but it definitely opens the range up for different things that you can have as far as abilities. I like that. Now, going back to the spread here, all right, that was the Havoc. What you do see is 2 new missile types, cruise missiles, and you get 2 of them, which is interesting. I like that. 2 cruise missile types, and it says attack, and I think it says target lock. I could be wrong, but you can't really. It says discard this something to perform an attack, so it might discard the target lock. That's what I believe. And it says attack dice spread does. I mean, yeah, you can't really make out the words. But it says maximum of something, so I'm wondering what that is. But it doesn't show you what the outfit of what that cruise is, and what the range ability is, or what having dice shit chucking. So that's going to be interesting. It does have, we already know what this card is, the seismic torpedoes, which is interesting. And what it looks like here is a new system slot. Some miniature machine, something, I'm not sure. Bane. I love Bane. You got Bane here. Also, what everybody was trying to figure out was like bomb generator bomb. This was actually in the Wookieepedia article. It's a unique, though, which is interesting. In the Wookieepedia article, it actually calls out for the Scourge H-6 bomb, a bomblet generator, which was capable of fashioning a potent energy bomb by drawing from the power of the ship's reactor core. So I'm wondering that if this bomblet generator is this card and it's related to these bombs. But it's a unique, so that's what's really interesting. I'm wondering if this is a modification that allows you to outfit it, but I don't see any other bomb upgrade card on here, so that's going to be interesting. Plus, if it's unique, why does it have 2 here, right? I mean, that's interesting. Or maybe does the bomblet generator allow you to supply 2? Who knows? I'm not sure exactly. That's going to be definitely interesting. But you never know, like I said, until you see more text on the cards and the actual cards themselves. You do see what I think is a new astromech, which is the R4. But R4 something, you don't know. It looks like they have C3PO. It's gonna be interesting what you find out for that. You have the synchronized turret. Now, this is also with TIE Aggressor, but I want to actually go into the synchronized turret right here. And this is interesting. It's at range 1 to 2, 3 attack dice for 4 points. It's a turret. It's attack target lock. This is the first time I've seen where it requires a target lock in order to sync this the synchronized turret. I mean, it makes sense from the name, right? I mean, synced turret. I mean, you have to have something locked, synced, synchronized. Who knows? But it says attack 1 ship, even a ship outside your firing arc. Now, it doesn't say you have to get rid of that target lock, so you can still have it. But in order to shoot this turret, you have to have a target lock. And it says attack 1 ship even outside your firing arc. If the defender is inside your primary firing arc, you may re-roll a number of attack dice up to your primary weapon value. All right? So you got the re-roll capabilities of this, but then you get the target lock that requires a target lock. So that's just an interesting combination and allows you to re-roll. And once you re-roll dice, you can't re-roll them. You're not allowed to modify, do 2 re-rolls in the game right now. So it's just interesting on that this combination that requires your target lock, so you really can't spend it because of this ability, but allows you to re-roll. So it's just interesting. Maybe you just lock the ship and it's always locked in the ship, your opponent's ship. 4 points. It's interesting with 4 points, but it just definitely gives you another option, and I do like this capability. Because from a range perspective, if you don't get no range bonus, it doesn't allow you to go to range 3. So I'm still, like I said, still on the fence with this because it's only range 1 to 2, 3 dice. All I'm getting out of this is pretty much for 4 points a target lock on a reroll. So does it really make sense to have it? But now it is a turreted thing, but I can only reroll a number of attack dice if they're my primary firing arc. Like I said, so I'm a little on the fence with this whole sync turret. I guess maybe I got to see it play and actually put it on the table and see what happens. But definitely interesting. You get one of those. What also you get looks like some other. I can't really see what it is. I mean, you can't really see the symbol, but looks like lightweight or light something, light regen. Who knows? I'm not sure. Regen, imagine that. But I'm not sure what that is. But something that looks like it's got blasters on it. So I'm wondering if it's maybe another turret or something like that. I'm not sure. But this, like I said, this ship really opened up the game, especially for bombers, for Scum. Now you can have some Scum bombers for 24 points. This opens up the door to a lot of different things. It's a little bit pricey, but look at the beef that you're getting. All right, you get 5 hull, 5 shields, 3 attack dice, normal weapons, so it can handle itself after you drop all your payload. That's one of the things that I have a problem with, like with K-wings or Y-wings, is after you drop your bombs, right? You only have which is nice to have a 2 attack primary weapon turret, but with today's, especially imperialists that are very defensive heavy, it's hard to get hits through. So it's definitely interesting. I do like. I mean, you can't really see the abilities of Captain Nim. and the other unique, but the two different abilities, one for Rebel and one for Scum. That is interesting. I like that. Give some flexibility. And also, I like this combination because this allows, especially from an FFG perspective, sales perspective, this opens up the game for both Rebels and Scum. So if you're a Rebel player, you might want this ship, just have one of them in your list. I mean, Captain Nim at an 8, that's not bad. I'm wondering what the point cost is going to be. If this is 24 points with all of these upgrades and what have you, I'm wondering what the cost is going to be. The other thing to notice here is, like, you see the astromech here, but you don't see the symbol. Right, that's a turret. Right, so that's interesting. Like, so does some of the other ships here have a turret, and this one doesn't have a turret because the upgrade? Maybe I'm a little missing something here, because I see torpedo, missile, crew, bomb, what I believe is a turret, and then I see the elite slot, but the title says your upgrade bar gains gains it. Oh, I thought it said lose it. Okay, so loses the. I gotcha. I like that. Because that opens up the door to a lot of different things here. See, I love this. I love when I'm looking at things and I thought I understood something, and of course I uncover it right while I'm talking to you guys. Isn't that great? All right, so that's interesting because that opens up the door to a lot of different things. So that makes sense with the whole. Okay, so that actually just changes a lot of the different combinations that you can have with this. So this Havoc title, even though you can only put one, but opens the door to a bunch of different things here. And you can put that on any of the ships here. It might make sense to put it on like if you're running like Captain Nim here, because he's an 8 and you got the EPT slot, you can actually potentially make him a 10 with VI. How interesting is that? All right, you can't put a crew slot on here, and I can't wait to see what Bane's ability is. I'm hoping it's really good. But like I said, this definitely opens the door to a lot of different things. I'm definitely going to be buying one because I play Rebels and I want that Rebel, a Rebel ship on my list, and I also just want one for my collection. I really can't wait to see what the bomblet generator does. I wonder if that's for other potential bombs or is it for Scurry H-6 ships only. I would love to see that. So definitely going to be interesting. And the dial, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, but I'm hoping it's got some green actions in there. Probably not as many I would like, because for 24 points and you can outfit all these upgrades and the beefiness that it has to it, the dial's probably not going to be as good as I hope. But we'll see. Like I said, it's definitely interesting. It's probably I might have a lot of red turns or something like that, and maybe 1 or 2 green straight, maybe 1 bank. Who knows? Like I said, we never know what these things. But having another bombing option for Scum is going to be huge. All right, so I think that pretty much covers it. What do you guys think of this ship? What do you guys like, dislike? What are you guys' thoughts about it? What are some of the builds that you're thinking about it? Definitely put it in the comments below, or put it in our community website in our list, our nader. All right, if you guys like this video, give it a like. Also, subscribe to our channel. Hit the little subscribe button. That helps us let us know that you guys like what we're doing. If you guys want to support us and support what we do, that really appreciates it. That allows us to do more things and more cool things, more videos, a lot more different events to go to, and record more videos and more content for you guys so you guys can watch. Definitely there's 3 ways to do that. Team SPG, you can be a part of that. We're actually running a Vassal League for Team SPG only members. And also where you get to play Nims, Burrow, and Blake on Vassal. Yes, we are being signed up for the first Spring 2017 Vassal Match League. That's going to be interesting. I'm actually, I think just the first set of pairings just got called out, so I'm ready to play that. Also, check out our token store for all the different tokens for X-Wing, Destiny, you name it. And also, guys, check out the t-shirt apparel store. Get some sling paint, some other cool swag that we have on that as well. All right, and also make sure you check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also our website, slingpaint.com, and our community area. There's a whole forums area, very, very active forums, over 1,000+ members, just talking about a lot of different cool X-Wing stuff, and like for beginners, newbies, for seasoned pros, vets, competition, casual, you name it's all there. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this ship. If you're going to buy it or you're not going to buy it. And if you're going to buy it, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to put on the list? All right, guys. Guys, always remember, when you put sling more paint than your opponent does, you're probably going to win. Thanks, guys.